This is China. These are the Kuril Islands. This is the Sakhalin Island. This is Russia. This is the Russian Far East. And this is the Arctic region. Oh, by the way, this is Japan. China wants access to the Arctic. It can't have it without first having access to the Russian Far East. Essentially, this miserable man wants to take the Russian Far East from this man in order to access the Arctic. Sounds funny, right? Well, Vladimir Putin is hardly taking China's wanton advances lying down, which is why he has brought in this man into the picture. Japan is now beginning to venture into the Russian Far East and simultaneously is developing the disputed Kuril Islands along with Moscow. So, Xi Jinping has been played, and he has been played bad. But for Jinping, getting played has now become a habit. Hi and welcome. This is TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I am your host Sanbir Ranhotra, and in this video I will tell you how Vladimir Putin and Yoshihide Suga have forced Xi Jinping to cry like a baby in a corner. Let's begin. The Kuril Islands dispute, a legacy of the Second World War, has formed the root of cold relations between Moscow and Tokyo. The dispute is decades old and a new common enemy is on the horizon. Russia and Japan should not be fighting against each other over a decades-old dispute. Rather, they should be fighting together against the common enemy, China. Both Russia and Japan have been making moves to somehow get past their differences on the Kuril Islands issue, and the first decisive step towards the upliftment of Kuril-centered ties has now been taken. Russia has been nudging Japan to jointly develop the Kuril Islands with it for quite some time, and Tokyo seems to have now come aboard with the plan. As per Reuters, the Russian Pacific island of Sakhalin is close to a cooperation agreement with a Japanese company on carbon capture and storage technology as it moves to carbon neutrality by 2025. Russia aims to make Sakhalin carbon neutral by 2025, which will be the first region to do so in the country, as the island needs to move quickly in adding renewable resources amid depleting fossil fuels. To achieve the same, Japan will now be helping Moscow. Regional Governor Valery Limarenko was quoted as saying, "The regional government is preparing to sign a cooperation agreement with a well-known Japanese company. The region will introduce 10,000 electric-powered vehicles and 1,000 charging stations by 2025, along with plans of switching from domestic heating boilers to natural gas and LNG, including on the Kuril Islands." Apart from the electric vehicle and LNG push, Reuters also reported that the region aims to generate 28% of energy from renewable sources by 2025, thanks to the construction of wind, solar, geothermal and small-sized hydroelectric power stations, mainly on the Kuril Islands. For Russia, the Kuril Islands are very important. The strait between Kunashir and Iturup does not freeze over in winter. Thus, control of the islands ensures that Russia has year-round access to the Pacific Ocean for its Pacific fleet of warships and submarines based in Vladivostok. Moreover, it is the only archipelago which can give the Russian Pacific Fleet access to the Pacific Ocean, since other straits are under the control of foreign countries or are underdeveloped. A Russo-Japanese joint venture in Sakhalin Islands will most definitely become a stepping stone for both countries to develop the disputed Kuril Islands. But the geopolitical significance of Moscow allowing Tokyo into Sakhalin is tremendous. That Russia is allowing Japan to partner with it in achieving a significant milestone in the Russian Far East will send shivers down the spine of China, which has been eyeing the region for itself. China plans to access the Arctic and hegemonize it, and the only route for it to do so would be via the Russian Far East. However, by bringing Japan into the picture, Russia has turned the tables quite magnificently on Beijing. Not that China stood any chance of getting to Russia's Far East in any case, but by letting Japan into a region which Moscow is very possessive about, Vladimir Putin has shown China that Japan is a friend of Russia, which China can never be. In February this year, Japan had offered to cooperate on Arctic shipments and agricultural imports from the sparsely populated Russian Far East. Earlier, Japanese Foreign Minister Toshimitsu Motegi had said, "We are steadily working on carrying out joint economic activity with Russia on 4 northern islands called Southern Kurils by Russia, as well as on humanitarian projects for their former residents." Besides, There is also a possibility that Russia and Japan would sign a peace treaty over the Kuril Islands soon. By signing a peace treaty with Japan, Russia's year-round entry into the Indo-Pacific will be guaranteed, and that would itself be a nightmare for China. Japan, meanwhile, would get access to the Kuril Islands, the Far East and Arctic region as an equal partner. With their collaboration in the Sakhalin Islands, the Japan-Russia partnership has just begun and will grow from strength to strength here on.